Warren County Extension Agent Betsy Ann Tracy is here with us today, and this is really a perfect recipe for a chilly fall day, looking for a good hot soup.
That's right. You know, the leaves are changing like you guys were talking about. It's getting a little colder outside, and we start thinking about those soups and stews and chilies, and this is the perfect recipe because right now we have a lot of our greens are actually in season. So hopefully that drought hasn't been too bad to your garden, and maybe you have some turnip greens or mustard greens or collard greens out there in your garden, or hopefully you get to see them at the farmer's market and pick some of those up.
Okay.
Now, I didn't think I liked turnip greens.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about them either.
Yeah, all those years, the holiday seeing them passed around and I passed on them. This is the first time I had them, and they are awesome. They're really, really good.
Wow.
And there's a lot of other flavors going in this soup, so it really makes a difference. If you've not worked with fresh greens before, and this is a turnip green, you want to just make sure you wash them really well. And to cook them down, you want to chop them up kind of like if you were chopping lettuce, okay? And if they have a really thick stalk, you can remove that stalk. You can cut it out or you can rip it out. And then you just want to chop it up, put it in about 1/4 inch of boiling water on the stove, okay? And just put the lid on. Let those cook for about 1 to 3 minutes if you've got some really small leaves, or some of the bigger ones might take anywhere from 5 to 10.
Okay.
So it really depends on time, but it's super easy. And this is kind of what they're going to end up looking like. And you can see that I've cooked these down, and you might have a huge, let's say for example, a huge pot of leafy greens, but by the time they cook down, it doesn't look like there's much at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we start out with about 8 ounces, about a cup of cooked greens. And like I said, you get to use your favorite. Then we've got about a cup of roasted turkey.
Very good.
This is perfect because the holiday season,
Oh, yeah.
everybody is trying to figure out, what do I do with my leftover turkey?
There's always a bunch.
That's right. Or if you've got baked ham, you could use baked ham in this recipe as
too.
well. So it's kind of up to you. Last night, actually, I found one of those roasted turkeys, you know, the roasted chicken on the go at the grocery store. They actually are starting to have like a roasted turkey breast.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
so if
Fast
you
and
haven't
easy.
had time, this will kind of save you some time. Yeah.
Some onions going in here.
That's right. Some good onions chopped up. And then we've got a 1/2 cup of fresh carrots. Going to put those in, chopped up.
This is a good way to sneak some vegetables into your kids' diet as well.
That's
you
right.
know?
This recipe is really, I hate to say healthy, but it is healthy for you. And it's really hearty, okay?
Yeah,
You know, a lot of people when they eat soup, they think, oh, there's not much to it. This has got a lot of stuff in it. Next, we're going to put in a can of white beans. These are navy beans. You can see I've got a couple of cans over there. We've got, you know, you can use the cannellini, you can use the Great Northern white bean, whatever kind of white bean you want, whatever kind you've got in your cupboard will work.
Lots of great protein.
That's right. And make sure that you drain those and rinse them off before you put them in this recipe. Then I've also got a cup of potatoes that I have just peeled and diced.
Everybody loves potatoes in their soup.
That's right. And then I've got a little bit of garlic. You can use fresh garlic. It calls for a 1/2 clove of fresh garlic. But if you don't have fresh garlic, you've got minced. That's the quick way.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we are going to add a little bit of salt and pepper, okay? Just a little bit. If you're trying to watch your salt intake, you might not want to add any salt, and that's okay. Then we're going to add a can of chicken broth. And now sometimes when I make this home, I'll admit that sometimes I add a little bit more broth, but you can use how much ever you want.
Okay.
And then you just want to add some water. And then all you're going to do is kind of stir all of those ingredients together, and you want to bring those to a boil. And once they come to a boil, then you're going to add a tablespoon of crushed red pepper.
Oh, okay. So that's gonna spice it up a little bit.
That's right. And if you don't like things really hot or spicy, then you might want to start with like a 1/2 teaspoon and just let it cook for a little while and see what you think of it. And then, you know, maybe add some more. And then you just want to let it simmer, turn it down, let it simmer for about an hour, let all those good flavors kind of marry together, and it's going to taste delicious.
I know. I can't wait to try it. So we'll go to break. We'll finish up here with our greens and beans soup. And also, Betsy's going to tell us about you getting on as a vendor at the Bazaar. So we'll be right back.